The name's Nukem. Duke Nukem. And you're watching Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog. Come get some.
Kung Fu! What the hell are you doing, man?
I'm just sourcing out female candidates for the brand new Gears of War game, sir.
Well, carry on, you buffoon. And if you find any rejects, send them to my office.
Absolutely, 10-4, sir. And it looks like, sir, I have found your ideal candidate. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I did not want to make this video today. In fact, I was pretty apprehensive. In fact, yesterday I shot a video, but for some reason, every time I tried to upload it, YouTube kept flagging inappropriate, potentially content. I know what it was in the end, and I actually removed it, and in hindsight, it was a good thing I did, because it had nothing really to do with the video. It was just me being absolutely foolish and fuddy-duddy. But today's video, folks, on the same subject of Gears of War, one of my most beloved game franchises ever. When you see that title, you think of big guns, big muscles, Marcus, Dom, Augustus Cole, and Damon Beard, the Delta Squad, the boys themselves. The boys are back in town. Or at least we thought they were, because a few days ago, People Can Fly made this very bold, very brazen announcement on social media that after a hiatus from the failed Outriders game, they are returning as co-developers with the Coalition to help further the Gears of War E-Day game, which, as you remember, at last year's Xbox Games Showcase, we saw that epic trailer drop and everybody lost their collective minds. However, I saw a video floating around yesterday, and again, this was a concern I did have. This was a bit of deja vu I was also experiencing, because People Can Fly, they sounded familiar, but for the wrong reasons. That's right, they used to be and are probably still clients with Sweet Baby Inc. And it only gets so much more worse, folks. Oh, and by the way, folks, if you thought that was hyperbole, I forgot to mention that People Can Fly have also opened a brand new headquarters. Guess where? Montreal, Canada. The same area where Sweet Baby Inc.'s headquarters are.
It's an AI-generated masterpiece crafted using RenderNet. For years,
that's
AI content felt
right.
fake, lifeless, something you could spot from a mile away.
Mortals, you defy the gods?
I am quite sure that most people try to do their best, to do their jobs as best they can, even if the result is not always entirely successful.
Soaring through all the galaxies in search of Earth, flying into the night.
Kung Fu Hot Dog came here to motorboat fun bags and kick ass. And he's all out of titties.
And don't forget, folks, if you enjoyed this video today, make sure you give it a like, give it multiple likes, smash that boob button, and it'll get me out there in the algorithm. But let's get on with this today, folks, because there's a lot to unpack right here. So, on January the 27th, People Can Fly made the following statement. We are honored to announce that PCF are now working with the Gears of War development team called a Coalition on Gears of War E-Day. And our studio has a deep history with this franchise. As the lead developer of Gears of War Judgment and co-development partner on Gears of War 1 to 3. Now, I didn't know that part, to be honest, because if you play the old GOW games, you always see Epic Games, not the PCF logo. So again, while there were co-developmental people back then, to me, I still say, well, you were just kind of there in the offing, because if you don't know the history of People Can Fly, they were formed in 2002, and their first game out of the bat 2 years later in 2004 was Painkiller. Now, after the success of Painkiller, they formed a deal with THQ to make another video game called, wait for it, Come Midnight. But somehow that game fell through, and I guess PCF did find themselves in financial trouble. Who came along to rescue them? That's right, Epic Games in 2007. So that's where their history of being together was formed, their alliance, so to speak. So when you think about the last great game People Can Fly actually published, it was Bulletstorm, all the way in 2011, which is actually quite shocking. Now, actually, hold the phone, because I do like Gears of War Judgment. In fact, I love the game. That was in 2013, so I have to include that as well. I know a lot of people shit on Judgment, and I think that's very unfair. And yesterday, folks, I made this quick B-roll as to why you should probably play Judgment, even its online multiplayer campaign. And for the Gears of War Judgment multiplayer, you can go through the legacy Gears of War characters and unlock them one by one, and then proceed to play through the assaulted maps, where in one instance through the museum, you can come across Grayson Hunt's rather fabby-dabby weapon that he also uses from Bulletstorm. So on the People Can Fly website, you've got the gentleman here called Sebastian Wachowski, and all these other gentlemen right here with some very unpronounceable surnames and their mission. Now, by the way, I went looking for ESG and DEI nonsense. It's not ingrained here, but doesn't mean to say it doesn't exist. So it's an interesting website to go through. That's Outriders. Again, if you look at some old footage I made of this gameplay in 2021, I actually opted for a more attractive female character to play as, because the monstrosity they have right here with a very short haircut and looking like the bro dude next to her who's got a beard just made me think, why are they making females like this? And again, if you look at my footage from the Outriders reaction video I made, even the female was a bit nerfed in the chesty westy area, so it makes you think what they were doing then. And obviously Sweet Baby Inc was already in the background at that time. So it is quite telling. And also, if you look at the reviews for the company itself, so is it a good place to work for? It's only got a 3.6 out of 5 rating on Glassdoor. Some people say it's a bit of a con to work for because the pay is rubbish. Even getting an interview with PCF is a difficult process, which I find quite hilarious since they're a company that's proud to promote diversity and inclusion. So if you're doing that, PCF, then why on earth are you making the recruitment process allegedly so difficult to get their foot in the glass door, right? I mean, it does beg to question that question. Oh my god, but honestly, when you see people like Games Radar, or Gay Radar as I like to call him, shrilling from the top, Gears of War E-Day will be a co-developmental project by the 20-year shooter powerhouse that helped bring Gears, Fortnite, and one of the OG boomer shooters to life. Oh my goodness, written by Austin Wood. No surprise, because that man cannot fathom how to construct words together and give us a very pulsating headline. Nope, he gives us this garbage instead. So honestly, when I do see this, it makes me worried for what Gears of War E-Day may turn out to be. And again, look, when you think of Gears of War, Do you think of hot women? Well, I do actually. Samantha Byrne, Anya Shroud, not her first iteration in the very first 2006 game because she looked god-awful back then, but when they revisited her in 2, and obviously she looked better in 3, and obviously in the remaster, the Ultimate Edition of the first Gears game, she looked absolutely fantastic. But again, if you're thinking about a Sweet Baby Inc. client, and by the way, here's a screenshot before Sweet Baby Inc. removed their client list as if nobody would notice, who can you see in the midst of all of that action? People Can Fly. They are there in plain sight. So the question that I beg to ask is, what on earth were they collaborating on? Because I feel that Sweet Baby Inc., they are one of these companies that they're not satisfied until they can destroy all the big IPs in their path. And Gears of War, I think, is one of those particular IPs they want to target. Now, don't forget that Gears of War is under the Microsoft banner, but since Microsoft made this announcement over a year ago that they're going to be releasing specific titles on other platforms like the PlayStation, I think we're going to get, finally, Gears of War crossing over to PlayStation. Why? Because if you make it console inclusive and exclusive, you're not really reaping the financial benefits of those rewards. If you send it out to other platforms, then I guess Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond can start swimming in some of that DEI and ESG money. Let's not forget, Microsoft is a big proponent of not creating attractive women. They mustn't have exaggerated features, whatever the hell that means. So honestly, when I hear that and I see that, you have to wonder what the final product of the Gears of War E-Day game will actually be like. Are we even going to get female characters in it? And if we do, are they going to be butt ugly? And if they are, we can certainly blame People Can Fly for that travesty, because that's where the red flags may start creeping in. Gears 4, Gears 5 has some of the most horrid female creations I've ever seen, except for Anya Shroud, who we see in that flashback in Gears 4. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Which is pretty much how the legacy of Anya Shroud will be forever remembered. Because if you cast your mind back to the Gears 4 trailer, how do they portray her in that moment? An emaciated mother, while her husband Marcus Phoenix still looks like he does in Gears of War 3. And those two characters are quite the pair of lovebirds, because they met through Anya's mother, Helena Stroud, at the academy that Marcus was training to be a soldier at. So again, what they've done to her from the Coalition, how they've paved the way for Kate Diaz.
No, I mean, I don't think so.
A dog shit female character voiced again by the actress who loves to lend her vocal talent to god-awful female characters. Yes, I'm talking to you, Laura Bailey Gailey. I cannot see where this Gears of War E-Day that we're supposed to be excited for is going to go. It's going to be a tail-ended epic of probably not mammoth proportions. And this gentleman right here is Matt Cersei. Next to him is a lady they call Nicole Fawcett, like your tap. And they talk passionately about the DNA for Gears of War E-Day, the Brotherhood, what it all means to them, how they're big fans of the original games. You can see the passion, the glory, the excitement is all there. But honestly, this could all get tarnished in one fell swoop if People Can Fly somehow get their way. And I don't like what I'm seeing or hearing or thinking at the moment. It is pretty awful. But I'll link the interview for this at the end of my video. Go over and watch it. It's an interesting watch. And all I'm going to say is this, folks. There's a lot we should worry about at this stage because, again, I called out PCF on Twitter by actually showing them the screenshot right here of the client lists of who Sweet Baby Inc. have been involved with, and People Can Fly are right there. This is not a doctored image. I pulled it off Reddit because somebody caught the screen grab before they changed all the client lists around on the official Sweet Baby Inc. website, and it does make you wonder what Gears of War, which is a celebrated franchise, I would actually call it maybe the first set of video games, maybe the first video game title that cultivated a community online and offline. People getting the tattoos, the Crimson Omen tattoos, everything. I think a lot of that, what we consider the gaming bro hubs is down to Gears of War. When you think about an actual online community, I think of Gears of War and probably other places like Call of Duty, but I'll probably call it a bit more toxic if you get my drift. I made a video over the weekend called Clair Obscure Expedition 33. It was well received, and some of my commenters actually said in the box below, looks good, but don't pre-order. And the same could be said for Gears of War E-Day, because again, we might see footage this year. It might look incredible. You might get all the people like Matt Cersei, Nicole Fawcett, and maybe some PCF crew talking passionately about the game. But it could be a ruse, ladies and gentlemen, because you might end up picking up the game and you might start seeing red flags within it. Again, some of the employees who work for PCF in other locations around the world do carry these silly nonsensical pronouns because I guess you have to, right? For the fear of being ostracized or obfuscated. My goodness, folks, that's a big, long word. So honestly, I'm just going to sit back with a skeptical, roving Optimus Prime eye, and we shall wait and we shall see what drama might unfold with Gears of War E-Day. And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video today, make sure you leave a like below. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. And if I were you, and if you were me, perhaps you should return for the next video.
It's a big deal, and the connection that they've made playing the games is just something that we don't take for granted. So bringing back Marcus and Dom and, making sure that we're really respecting their memories that they've made, whether it's just playing the game or, the friends that they've made along the way and co-op campaign, that's just kind of what we care about as a team, and it's what we talk about all the time, and we just don't take that lightly as stewards of the franchise.